Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. I'm Brian Moritz, and today I get the honor of walking you around a pre-owned 2021 Tiffin Wayfarer 25RW. So pre-owned 2021, pretty rare to see, but it happens. So just while we're kind of panned out there, notice on the exterior you do have a 16-foot Girard awning. Now in the bottom of this awning on either end, we do have some speakers built in, and that is actually controlled just right inside the door here. Turn those on. Oh, it's really quiet. We'll turn it up just a little bit so you can hear it. I hope you can hear that, but just that pretty nice, decent speakers for while you're sitting outside under this awning. You also have a nice LED light strip up there. And last but not least, you do have a wind sensor. So once it starts bouncing a little bit, that awning will just retract itself, just a safety feature. You know, an extra safety feature, I should say. So the exterior color on this motorhome is Regal Blue. Tiffin's offering of Regal Blue. Really kind of just a nice, different color from what you would normally see, but it is full body paint. There's no stickers, no decals. We'll walk around this exterior just a little bit first and then head inside and take a look at some stuff in there. In this first compartment, just a nice big storage there with a 2,000 watt Xantrax inverter. And then if he puts a camera in there, this storage actually goes back there pretty far. A little tough to see, but bigger than what it looks like. And it also goes up top there back a ways as well. So this motorhome measures out at just over 25 feet. One thing I want to notice on this side is you do have a gravity fill for your freshwater tank. Something that some manufacturers are kind of going away from. Tiffin's keeping it alive, which is good. Standard 3,200 watt quiet diesel generator. All right. And then back behind that one, just another big storage there. And something important to note in here, you do have a line. This is an LP connection line. So if you carry an external barbecue or grill, you don't have to carry an extra propane tank for it. It's actually already built in there. Coming back around the back, one thing I want to point out, and this is just a great window to look at, you do have tinted dual pane windows all the way around this motorhome. That's a nice big one in the back there. Gives you a good view of them. Full fiberglass rear cap. And then down below, you do have a 5,000 pound towing capacity on a 2-inch receiver. And I didn't mention it, but there is a backup camera up top as well. A full color backup camera that does give you some grid lines and that kind of thing as well. Coming around to the driver's side, in this back compartment, there's a little bit of storage there, but more importantly, you have your black tank is sitting there. That's a 28-gallon black tank. Coming forward just a little bit, here we're gonna have all of our water bay stuff. So slide in here really quick. Right here we do have your SureFlow water pump. So one good thing about that is eventually a water pump will go out and you'll have to replace it, but this one's very easily accessible. Your dump for your gray and black tank, your gray tank up here, a black tank flush system, your city water inlet, your pressurized inlet, an outdoor shower with hot and cold water, and then a pump for your water pump, or a switch for your water pump, so you can turn it on from out here to use this exterior shower. So very nice, clean water bay there. Coming up towards the front, another big storage compartment here. Also inside of that is going to be a slide out controller as well as your 30 amp shore power cord. And again, that one does go back farther than the door, just like the one we showed you on the other side. Pretty much identical storage there. And then lastly, up in front, you do have a 20-gallon propane tank, which is going to run your cooktop, your furnace, as well as your hot water heater. So coming around, just a couple chassis notes here. This is built on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter chassis. So that gives you a 3.0 turbo diesel, as well, which puts out 188 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. In these mirrors, we do have side view cameras. That was an option from Tiffin in 2021. So when you turn on your blinker, whether it be left or right, it'll show you that side of the motorhome. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but it's just a little lens right there. Gives you a really nice, clean picture, and safety, eliminates some blind spots there. So while we're here, the stock number to this unit is 5U201453. Again, pre-owned 2021 Tiffin Wayfarer 25RW. Just a couple more chassis notes. LED headlights, sits up nice and high. So if you're in a snowy, windy, rainy condition, you're not going to get blinded. You'll be able to see down onto the road looking through those headlights. So I did special order this motorhome for a customer. So I know for a fact that it was a one-owner motorhome. He used it 1 or 2 times and then decided that he wanted a little more space and ended up moving into a 35-foot Class A. So there wasn't anything wrong with it when he had it. It just wasn't enough space for him. So we'll head inside now and take a look at all the stuff in here. Okay, so welcome inside this 2021 Tiffin Wayfarer. Just a couple things to note here. We have the linen wood color, so that's that nice white. Fossil on the leather, which is that kind of taupey brown. Really gives you kind of a nice feel. It makes it feel nice and big in here with all the light there. So looking at the kitchen here, 2 really big cabinets up top there. Solid surface Corian countertop down below with a 2-burner gas cooktop, and it does have an electric igniter there as well. 2 110 volt outlets, as well as 2 12 volt USB ports. Charge your phones, plug in your coffee maker, that kind of thing. Single undermount countertop, just a big bowl, or sink, not countertop. And then Tiffin does also provide you with just a little bit extra counter space there down below, just a little extra prep space. And then 3 nice drawers. All your drawers are going to be quiet close, but 3 very nice big deep kitchen drawers, as well as another huge cabinet down below the countertop. So for a Class C, storage inside of this kitchen is quite incredible, honestly. Back behind that, we do have a Norcold gas electric refrigerator, so you can actually run this off of propane or electricity. Now, you'd use propane more so when you don't have the hookups, electricity when you are hooked up. There is an auto mode. That's what I leave my personal one on, just so I never have to worry about it. And then up top, you do have a microwave convection oven. That's a High Point. Pretty common in RVs nowadays. And then up top here, nice sound bar to hook up to this 32-inch LG TV. And then back behind this TV, we do have some storage, as well as a DVD player, or a Blu-ray player, I'm sorry. You could also, if you wanted to put a satellite up on top of this motorhome, this is where you'd put it. Or this is where you put the receiver, I should say. And then this is just held back there by 2 very strong magnets. You saw me struggle with it just a little bit there. Up top above there, this is going to be all your coach controls. A solar controller from the factory. We did order this motorhome with 200 watts of solar. Controls for your Truma AquaGo. That's going to be your on-demand hot water. Antenna. So that's just how you turn on your antenna. You can get local over-the-air channels. And then over here, the power for your 2,000 watt Xantrax inverter. And then lastly, that's the panel to start and stop your 3,200 watt quiet diesel generator. Down below the TV, 3 very nice big drawers. Whether you use this for wardrobe or extra storage for the kitchen is up to you, but you do have quite a bit of room there. Again, all quiet close. And then down below, circuit breakers for the house, and then 12-volt circuit breakers as well. And then 2 USB ports, 210-volt outlets, and then kind of a his and her wardrobe setup. Nice big hanging storage there. So that kind of goes over your storage on the passenger side of this motorhome. Like I said, for a Class C, just a lot of storage. So we'll kind of start going over some of the living amenities here. First of all, you do see you have a nice couch here. Pretty comfortable, soft, nice furniture. Pull these off. And then drop these legs down really quick. So for a master bed in this motorhome, you do have a Murphy bed. So that just folds down at the flip of the switch. You just saw me do it. But the cool thing about a Murphy bed in this floor plan is it gives you a huge living area when that bed is stored away during the day. So if you're gonna have guests over, you don't have to worry about them, seeing your bed, if it's not made, that kind of thing. But just a huge living area. And then you do have storage up behind that bed as well with 3 more cabinets. I'll sneak around here real quick. So Tiffin did a great job of putting storage anywhere that they could. And close those up. And one thing to note about all these cabinets is they're all solid wood. They're not any particle board or anything like that. Just a really nice high-end cabinet feel. For those of you who know Tiffin, you know that they're known for making very high-end Class A's, and that's essentially what they tried to do with this. Go away from, kind of the cheaper stuff and just make it just like they make their Class A's. And then we also have just a standard booth dinette. So one thing that's really cool about this table is there's a locking mechanism underneath here, and once it's unlocked, I can actually move this table around on its post. So if you have needed some extra space on one side, one person's bigger than the other, that kind of thing, you're working at it, you can move it to where you need it to be just to make it comfortable. Now this also does fold down and make a small bed for grandkids and kids. And then a reading light on either side of it. And you can swivel these around in a couple different ways, just to make it perfect for viewing. And then 3 more big cabinets up on top. Which brings us up to the front area here. So Tiffin did give you the bunk over cab. So again, kids and grandkids, this technically sleeps 6. But if you don't have anyone that needs to travel with you, this does make just a great storage area. And then if you take this ladder down, just stow it away up top there. And this will fold up just to make getting in and out of that cab a little bit easier for you. So, and then on either side, you do have 2 110-volt outlets as well as 2 12-volt USBs. And then also right next to this cab over bunk, you do have your full coach controls, so we can look at your water levels, we can control all the lights, turn the water pump on and off. Both your gray and black tank do have 12-volt tank heaters on it, so we can turn those on if it's a little colder outside. And this is also where you can control your slide outs. To the right of that, we do have our awning controls, so in, out, and stop, so you can actually put that awning out, partially put that awning out. It doesn't have to be all the way out or all the way in. And then a Boss controller for those outside speakers. Now you can play AM, FM, or Bluetooth, and there's also an auxiliary port there as well. So a couple different options there, but it's nice that they put that right there next to the door since those speakers are outside. So one thing to look at just kind of on the side of this countertop, when I ordered this coach for my customer, we did order it with a Bigfoot hydraulic leveling system. So something you don't see a lot in smaller Class C's, but 4-point auto leveling. All you're gonna do is press power, hit auto level, and let it do its thing. And then once you're ready to leave, power, retract, done. So very simple system, but something that's very nice to see in a Class C, especially one of this caliber. Coming back into the bathroom, one thing here, just a nice privacy door, matches all your wood. I'm just gonna open up the storage in here and let Jody come in. We found out in most motorhomes, 200-pound men shouldn't be in there together. So storage up above the sink there. Nice big vanity mirror. And then storage down below the sink as well. And then you do have a foot flush. This is a porcelain toilet, so a little bit nicer residential feel to it. And then a nice big shower as well. I'll actually climb in this just so you get a reference. 6 feet tall, 200 a lot pounds. Plenty of room to move around in here. This does have a private, or just a screen here. The really cool thing about these is it actually squeegees the water off of this door as it retracts, so that you don't have to worry about getting water everywhere. But I mean, this is a big bathroom for a small Class C. That's a really big bathroom. Which pretty much brings us to the cab area. So I have one of these seats swiveled around. They do both swivel, so you could add both of these as your living area. But they come with these little bolsters here because you have a step down into the cab and you don't want your knees in your chest. So just nice little bolsters. You do have two of them. There's one for both the driver and passenger seat. And those are very simple to swivel around. I'm gonna put this one back just so you can see it. All you gotta do is move it forward until you feel like you've got enough room there. And then it just swings around, and then you can move it forward or back to wherever you're comfortable sitting. So one cool thing about this new Mercedes chassis is you do have electric seats, and they have 3 memory slots on them. So you could have your primary driver, your primary passenger position, and then your third one could be where the seat swivels. That's how I would set it up personally. But you also have heated seats on these nice, on the both driver and passenger side. And turn this thing on for a second. So I just fired up that little turbo diesel. As you can tell, very, very quiet. I just want to go over this radio just a little bit. It does have Sirius XM radio as well as AM and FM. But more importantly in my mind, has a very nice navigation screen. Sorry, it takes just a second here to get fired up. So nice color map there. You can zoom in and zoom out just like you would on your phone, just by pinching or moving your fingers away from each other. And then you can also control this entire radio from the steering wheel. There's just a little touchpad right here. So I'll go home and I'll just go to the radio and we'll listen to spot radio. Volume up, volume down, as well as phone. If you have your phone hooked up to Bluetooth, you can answer it, decline calls, that kind of thing. Over on this left side of the steering wheel, this does come standard with adaptive cruise control. All that is controlled right here, and you can also control all of your dash from the steering wheel as well. So this motorhome got driven from Red Bay, Alabama to Grand Junction, Colorado, where we actually delivered it. And then the customer took possession of it. So you figure it probably had 1,200 miles on it when it showed up, maybe a little more than that. And it now has 2,534 miles on it. So practically a brand new motorhome. But overall, just a very nice cab area. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in reverse just so we can look at this backup camera. So full color backup camera. We can also change the angles of it, so you can see different you can look at it differently if you're trying to hook up your trailer, that kind of thing. Put that in park, and then let's see if it works when I'm not driving. I didn't go into park, that's why. So this is just that camera on the right side of the motorhome. So right now you can see the door just because that door is open, but that side view camera built into the mirror just comes up full color, very nice clear picture. Down below the radio, just your standard HVAC controls, keyless start, so you just have these little fobs everywhere. So just your standard Mercedes-Benz chassis stuff. Oh, well, I think that's pretty much gonna, oh, one other thing. So when we ordered this motorhome, we did upgrade it from a 13,500 BTU air conditioning to a 15,000 BTU roof mounted air conditioning, just to give you a little bit more cooling power. Your water capacity is 30 gallons of fresh water, 28 gallons of black water, and 36 gallons of gray water. So a little more gray water capacity, which is good, because that's what you're always going to run out of first. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps us up here. Again, I'm Brian Moritz with Transwest Truck Trailer RV out of Frederick, Colorado. If you have any questions on this 2021 Tiffin Wayfarer, please feel free to give me a call at 303-482-6375. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.